जयपुर वाया कोटा।
कृपया ध्यान आपको अहमदाबाद
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत.
Lucknow Junction.
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವರೈ
एक्सप्रेस পরবর্তী স্টেশন নেতাজি ভবন कृपया ध्यान दियो.
Hello and welcome. We are back. This is Cricbuzz Live. We only left you a few minutes ago, but we pretty much live in the studio here, so we're ready to go anytime. But are these two teams ready to go today? Because no second chances, no two bites of the cherry for these teams. It's one cherry, one bite, one pip. I'm talking about Mumbai and Lucknow playing the Eliminator today in Chennai. That's right. The one who wins goes on to play Gujarat on Friday, which effectively is a semi-final. And the team that loses, well, it's bye-bye birdie for them. I'm Gaurav Kapur. This is Cricbuzz Live. With me, Michael Vaughan. Did you sleep well? Was the studio comfortable? What? Who are you looking at?
Of course, yes. I always like sleeping at the back, just having a few hours, skipping them, we're back.
Yeah.
Talk about it. I like these games. The games are getting proper now. You play badly tonight, you go on.
That's it.
That's when the IPL gets serious. The last few games in the group stages where it gets to that, you have to win. Mumbai are the masters at this late charge, so they're used to having to win. But yeah, I like it. I like to see how players react when they know that if they have particularly in T20 cricket, if they have a 3 or 4 over poor period, they can be on the way home.
You're done. Actually, we saw that yesterday, didn't we? We saw that with... I'm still really confused about the game last night, right? Because I don't know what happened. That game just felt like everything was just kind of coasting along and it was just happening and there was no incident, there was nothing that happened and suddenly it was over.
Yeah, I mean, Chennai got the pitch that they would have liked batting first. And I've just seen the pitch report for tonight and it, again, looks like a pitch that you want to get the runs on the board first. But it was a very, very Chennai performance. And it's a different pitch. But it's the same kind of pitch as last night, but it's 2 or 3 metres away. And by the way, you do know that you can move cameras, I told you.
Of course you can.
You saw it's impossible, you can't move a camera.
I didn't say you can't move the camera, I just said it's not easy.
I know you're in production, but it's not that hard to move a camera.
All right, so...
If you want me to be a part of your production company, I can help you out because moving a camera, you just kind of move it.
By the way, how big do you think these cameras are? Yesterday, Michael said that they're pretty much shot on phones. He's like, well, just pick it up and take it here. Today, they've become this big. I don't know why you're going from 2050 to 1950. I don't know what's going on here. It's just... Zin, 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 zin. What I said was that you have to calibrate Hawkeye and everything. So all of that is a little technical. But why I was pointing at you that time like this is because you said whatever you do, you want to get runs on the board.
Yes.
And guess what? Mumbai has won the toss. This is the same team that has chased 4 200-plus scores, and they have chosen to bat first.
Yes, I thought they would.
Yeah.
And I think so Gujarat are a brilliant chasing team, and that's why they chased last night. But if you gave Gujarat 24 hours later and said, what are you going to do, they'd have batted first.
Yeah.
I think the best teams in the tournament, you can't be so reliant on winning one way.
Yeah.
Yes, you get a bit of momentum in the group stage, particularly on certain venues, home, particularly you get used to chasing or setting and you kind of stick to that method. But when you get to this stage, you have to really assess the conditions. You've got one chance and if you get it wrong, you're gone.
Yeah.
It just seems sensible that I also think in big games, must-win games, I'm a bit old school in this regard, is that I still am a believer that in a big game, get the runs on the board and put the pressure on the opposition batters.
And that's what Mumbai is doing today. Let's have a look at the road to the final. There it is. So Gujarat, of course, played Chennai yesterday. Chennai won that game. So, well, they're in Ahmedabad. And they've gone with Gujarat, actually. They must have gone on the same flight, maybe carpooling, plane pooling. And they're going to wait till everything gets decided. And they're going to play the final on Sunday. Today, you have Lucknow and Mumbai playing. The winner also goes to Ahmedabad and plays Gujarat in what? Well, you can call it a qualifier, you can call it an eliminator, but I choose to call it a semi-final. An all-new term. What do you think of that, Mr. Mbangwa? I've been silent for so long. What's going on? Say something.
Evening, Pom.
Hello. Have I got a story to tell?
Anyway. What's your story?
My story is I've gone the scenic route to turn up here.
Yeah?
That's been
Absolutely fabulous.
Did you come via Chennai? Did you see which pitch they're using?
I did go past a race course.
Did you?
Yeah, that I didn't know existed around here. But
That suggests to me that you went the wrong way.
not me personally, but
Just the car you were in was
just the
pointed in the wrong
cars.
direction.
And I drive. Are we going the right direction? Yes. No problem. Stop. Yeah, this building. I don't think so.
Yeah. Do you think, I just want to ask people out there, did you even notice that Pommie was not here for the first 4 minutes? Because Michael and I played it really cool, right?
Oh no, you don't want to rob the people of the news.
Yeah, let's give you the news. Pommie Mbangwa has made it to the studio 4 minutes late, but his brothers were covering for him.
It was fantastic. And then I think I've come to a conclusion. I'm not yet ready for the Hindi show.
No?
No.
Okay.
Try as I might to throw out some of my Hindi.
Give us some right now.
Nah,
Nahi.
I didn't have the word for wrong direction.
I'll tell you. Galat Rasta.
Kalat Rasta. Now I know.
There you
Well,
go.
It's a bit late.
Yeah.
I didn't have.
No, you might need it on the way home.
Yeah. I didn't have it for. Are we going the right direction?
No, we figured that in Chennai, chasing is the Galat Rasta.
There you go.
There you go.
Wrong way. That's the wrong way. You want to make sure you bat first. Especially on that pitch, actually, because the games that have been played on that pitch have all been low scoring. So, sort of get about 150, 160, and you're in.
Yeah, you're in. What's the team that Mumbai is taking? Remember, this is a chase master team. They have shown in the last, they've got 4 200-plus chases, right? And that is it's kind of insane, those kind of changes. Those kind of changes are kind of insane. But let's talk about the captains before we show you the teams. One side, Krunal Pandya was not captain halfway through the season. KL Rahul gets injured and he has to take over. On the other side, of course, Rohit Sharma. Michael, he's the guy who knows a thing or two about playing playoffs and getting to the final and lifting trophies.
Yeah, and he knows a thing or two about batting under pressure as well, which we saw in the last game. He's not played well. You know, in terms of the standard that Rohit is set for many, many years. He's a wonderful batter, but you know, he's not quite been at his best or nowhere near his best. And all of a sudden in the game before tonight, he starts to find a bit of form. And then tonight, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be, even on a pitch that's not easy. If there's one or two players, there's only a few players in the world that can make a poor pitch look quite a nice pitch. Rohit Sharma's one of those players.
He's got 5,000 runs for Mumbai, so you know he's got them on all kinds of surfaces, not just the Wankhede.
Yeah, and what it says, and talking to experience in particularly big games and in games where the pressure is really high, he's been in just about every one for Mumbai. The ones where they have done well, the ones where they haven't. And when they have, I mean, five-time champion captain is no mean feat, you know. So he'll have G'd up his troops today. All that needs to be said would have been said. But I think the big thing for me is you look at that, and
to be fair, we're bigging him up. Those numbers are rubbish.
Yeah, that's not, I was going to say that's not quite right, and that probably is something that he wants to put right. And what better time to put it right than in a season where things haven't actually gone well? And let's go back 3-4 days, and Mumbai weren't even going to be here, right? They were not even going to turn up. They were hoping on others not going so well, and they'd kind of do what they can do and wait and hope. And in hope, they've turned up, and here they are. And don't be surprised if they upset the apple cart.
I also would expect Mumbai, with that batting lineup, it's so strong. I personally think they'll go very, very aggressive at the top.
Yeah, they'll try to bat Lucknow out of the game, right?
I think they've got a chance. You know, you're batting first. No doubt that the pitch will get a bit slower. We'll see a bit more spin. We saw that last night. But in the first, probably 6 to 8 overs last night, it looked okay. We saw Conway and good Rutraj guy could get off to a good start, play some nice. It wasn't pure batting, but it was good batting. So I do think the first, probably half of the first innings is the perfect time to bat. Mumbai have got a great chance of going.
Yeah, and they'll know that the power play is a really good chance to kind of accelerate it. That's why Gujarat kind of missed a beat, because Chennai got more runs than them in that power play, and then they were just kind of behind the 8 balls. But that was yesterday. Today is a new day, and of course, Mumbai. Are they going to take a new team? Anybody new here? Let's see the team. Come on, roll call. Bring it up. Who's Rohit taking? This is their batting 11. So, of course, that batting side is not going to change. Ishan Kishan, Rohit Sharma, Nehal Vadera. He came in for Tilak Verma, and he's been so good. Surya Kumar Yadav, what do you say about him that hasn't been said already? Cameron Green, great 100 in the previous game. Tiny Tim David, he's won a few for them with his bat. Then Jason Beredoff, Chris Jordan, Ritik Shokeen, who'll obviously bat a little higher than that. And then there's Akash Madhwal and Piyush Chawla. I'm looking at that. Who will they get as their impact sub in the bowling? We'll have a look in just a second. But I just said, what has been said about, what can we say about Surya that hasn't been said before? But even if you want to say it again, feel free, go for it. It's not like we have a contract that says you can't repeat yourself.
Joss Buttler for me over the last 5 years has been probably the best white ball striker of a ball. But Surya Kumar, I just think at the minute, if you were saying to me pick a T20 team or start to build a T20 team, I reckon I'd start with Sky.
First name?
Yeah, I think
that's
I would.
right. Actually,
I don't
it's
disagree
really
with you at all.
Yes.
And, do you know what this? Sorry to cut you off, but do you know what the thing about it is? Normally, when you're looking at T20 teams and you're looking at which guys make the biggest impact, they normally would bat 1 and 2. Yeah. At kind of lowest, they'd be at 3. Whereas Sky actually has batted 4 and 5, not even up at 3. In recent times, he's been sent up to number 3, but generally, he bats at 4 and 5, right? And he makes an impact just about whether he's playing for India or he's playing for the Mumbai Indians, makes an impact from 4 and 5. I think that's absolutely outstanding, the way he goes about it. Whether it's rebuilding an innings, whether it's chasing for them, whether they're in trouble and haven't quite got enough and he's coming in and trying to make sure at the back end they're absolutely fabulous. So he's got the goods, and just about every single time he turns up, you want to watch.
His boundary skill set's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I think he's hitting a boundary every 3.4.
3.5 or something, yeah.
We must give the producers a lot of credit for that. I read the email today.
If I remember right, I think it's 3.4. Was it 3.4?
Yeah, they're very good in the
So
back.
we both read the email.
Very good in the back office.
Yeah.
But that's ridiculous. There was a game, I don't know which game it was in Mumbai, and he came out first ball, and he just swept to 6 over. Yeah. So first ball. Yeah. And it wasn't a must to hit a 6 first ball. It wasn't that the rate was at 14s. He just went, oh, no, 6.
Just did it.
And then he got the reverse sweep out.
Yeah.
Another 6, then dance down, hit one straight down the ground. And once you've got the ability as a player, which he has, to go behind the wicket, he's a modern day player. You know, he can get it over the keeper's head.
Yeah.
And I know as a captain, when you're playing against players like Sky, that you know that you've got to get fielders behind square. So then what happens? You've got lots of opportunities for scoring in front of square, because as a captain you're going, right, I've got to protect behind, so I've got to have a fine leg a little bit finer, third a little bit finer. Cover point on the boundary probably needs to be a bit square because he's got that ability. But wait a minute, I've got extra cover open, I've got mid-wicket open. Yeah. You know, you haven't got enough fielders for Sky. When he's playing well, and that's what the great players do in T20 cricket, they make captains' lives a misery.
Yeah, that's right. They make you feel like 9 fielders is just not enough, and it isn't. 5 on the boundary, not enough for Sky. The problem, though, is he's got a bulk of his runs at home, and away has not been good for him. And today's pitch is no walk in the park, Pommie.
It isn't. And what I'd say to that, I guess, I mean, I'm looking at those numbers and going, that strike rate's pretty good. It just hasn't worked out.
153 is really good. It's red because it's 200 on the other side.
It's like saying, you know what I mean? It hasn't worked out, but if you have a guy who gets 21 runs at 150 away from home and he's batting quite high up, he's not wasting any deliveries.
He's still creating momentum for the
game. He's trying to make sure the game keeps going. So whilst we say it's failure, we're marking him against himself, and we're marking him against quite ridiculous numbers that he has at Mumbai.
Yeah.
And I think if you looked at everybody's numbers and you looked at what they do at Mumbai, they'd probably be that bit high because the ground is so high scoring. They won't be 200 because that's kind of reserved for him, and he does that on a regular basis. But yeah, I read the email too, and I thought that it was a bit harsh to say that he wasn't going so well away from home.
I mean, if you just compare it, obviously he's doing so well at home that away just looks like a shambles compared to how well he does at home. It's like us, even when we're half asleep and hungry and we phone it in, and our worst show is better than most people's best show, right? That's just us.
If he strikes it at 150 tonight, you know, he'll
be all right.
Yeah, well, not if he gets 3 or 4, but you know, if he gets to a 30 to 40 and striking at 150 on the pitch that we know will be quite difficult, again, he'll change the game, create huge momentum for Mumbai.
You can see it. We saw Rashid do it last night. Rashid, it was just too little, too late. But there are players who have the ability and can go above and beyond what the surface is.
How's the campaign going about Rashid going up the order?
I don't think we've started. We haven't got any signatures yet. Also because I don't know how to sign. I can. This is what I do, but I can. We'll get a few more. Anybody wants Rashid up the order? Clap, everybody. Yeah.
We've done well there.
Yeah, it's good. I'm just going to walk the streets and get clap points for people and make a video. We'll do that. All right, let's look at the Lucknow team. Who are they taking? Remember, they beat Mumbai just a few days ago, right? They beat them with Mohsin bowling that last time.
Yeah,
right?
Mohsin.
All right, what have they done here? There's no Quinton de Kock. Oh, no, there's 3. Wait, he's not even in the subs. Okay, that's interesting. So Ayush Badoni, Deepak Hooda, Marcus Stoinis, send him to open. Send him to open, Lucknow. Prerak Mankad, Nicholas Puran, Captain Krunal Pandya, Yash Thakur, Krishnappa, Gautam, Naveen ul Haq, Mohsin Khan, Ravi Bishnoi. Well, where are the spinners? So they've got Gautam, Bishnoi, Krunal Pandya, overs from Hooda if they need, right? And they've got Naveen ul Haq, Mohsin Khan and Yash Thakur. Solid bowling there.
So,
yeah. Is Quinton de Kock, is he injured?
No, he's not even in the impact subs today. So obviously
is he not? Oh, right. So, because I was looking at it, I was thinking, I wonder if that's just about like lots of spin or whatever, and why does it affect him being there?
Kyle Mayers is in the impact sub. So if you notice, they've got 3 foreigners.
Yeah.
So they can play a 4th as an impact sub. So they'll probably play Kyle.
So Kyle will come in to open the batting.
Yeah, he must do. Because that's their bowling side, right?
Yeah.
And he's obviously not going to bowl, so he's in the impact subs.
Yeah. I'm a little surprised.
So there must be something.
He's got to be. He must be
injured. Sure.
I mean, Quinton de Kock, again, in the last however many years, he's up there with the best players that basically on big nights.
I figured it out.
He hasn't played well against Mumbai.
I know. I figured it out.
Yeah, go on.
That's why.
Is that why?
We'll see if he's in the Mumbai impact subs. Naughty. Because when you see, because this was by the way, we all read the email, our back office, excellent work, Pooja, good job. But hey, that's one talking point, and I'm just flipping that talking point around because maybe that's why Queenie is not playing. He's like, this is my kryptonite. I can't play against Mumbai. He's played for Mumbai and he's done so well.
Yeah.
And he's we're just having a laugh here. But the fact is, he doesn't. That's not the reason why he's not playing today. But he doesn't perform against them. He obviously he may be injured or he may be unwell because
I've seen him on the pitch. He's out there. I've seen him having conversations.
Could be a niggle then because they're not going to drop.
Well, they might. Yeah, they might.
If they've dropped him, I will say as much as this that is overthinking life.
Okay.
He's one of the great players of T20 cricket. And I don't care about the numbers. I don't care about what he's averaged about. It's about now, tonight. And surely you want to go in with your kind of star players on a must-win evening.
Fair. Let's look at that Lucknow team again and then look at their bat because they'll be chasing. So let's look at their batting by putting Kyle Mayers in there, right? If you put Kyle Mayers in there, you're opening him with, I don't know, either Hooda, Badoni. I would just open him with Stoinis. Stoinis has been great as an opener, but they need him, I guess, in the middle order. But Stoinis has been so good as an opener, and if you need to maximize that power play, he's done that world over. He's done it in India for Delhi as well. Put him up, right?
Today, that wouldn't be a bad idea.
Yeah.
I think it would be a good idea today because of where you're playing, because kind of if the pitch kind of holds up, right? You want to make sure you start well with that new ball in your chase because you've got to play the power play really well. If you don't, you're in trouble. I think you're struggling to catch up the game, obviously, depending on how many have been put on the board. However,
one of the great modern day power play players
is not playing.
is Quinton de Kock.
Yeah, and he's not playing. So, and yesterday
He's got to
we
be
said-
injured. He has to.
Yesterday we sat here and said, "Oh, who do you reckon?" Said, "I think let's have a look at Quinton de Kock."
Picked him as player to watch.
Yeah, we did. We said, let's have a look at him tomorrow because
But today he is a player who will watch.
who will be watching? Yeah, it's a little
It's
bit
strange. It's strange though, Pommie, what they've done with Quinny through the season. If you remember last year, because they wanted to play him and they were insistent on playing him, if you remember, Evan Lewis did well,
Yes.
but they would move everybody else around because Quinny was there. It was like, we stick him in this spot. This year, he comes 3 games late and they don't seem to have a chair at the table for him.
He needs to go to KKR.
So what? Because so that he can be one of their rotating openers.
Yeah, so at least they know they've got one opener, and then they can just rotate the other.
I'm just so tempted to say things right now, but I won't. Come on, they have had some amazing openers. They still keep changing them.
Yeah, but Quinton de Kock, I'm just going to reserve judgment because I think he must be injured.
Yeah, all right.
He has to be injured.
We'll do that. Let's talk about the Lucknow bowlers, though, because they will have to restrict this Mumbai. It's quite interesting, though, because when you look at the Mumbai bowling doesn't... It's not got a lot of scary factor to it because there's no Bumrah, there's no Jofra Archer. So what has happened with the Mumbai bowling is you'll say that their batting has been the much stronger suit, right, than the bowling.
comfortably.
Yeah. So in this case, the Lucknow bowlers obviously saying, all right, we've really got to do this here because we're up against their strong suit first. So we can put them on the back foot, make life much easier. And in that, they've got some really good bowling options. They've got the left arm, they've got the right arm leggy, they've got the right arm off. They've got some very interesting options there in terms of their bowling. And Bishnoi perhaps would have looked at the game last night and saying, me likey.
Yeah, probably. The thing about it is, it then means that Krunal Pandya's mind's going to be tested. And Michael was talking about it yesterday about how Dhoni and the way he captains and the way he goes about with his spinners. We also remarked at the end of yesterday that it's not so often you get a game where both sides use just 5, right?
Yeah.
And they maneuver them well enough to kind of be in the right place, bowl at the right times. And I'll toss this to you, Michael, to say sometimes too much choice is a problem.
Yeah.
Because then you choose the wrong one.
Lucknow
right?
uses a lot of choices.
Yeah, so they'll bowl 7 and 8 bowlers in a game. And the question will be, is that the right time or is it not? When there isn't the option, you then slot people, I think anyway, into what their jobs actually are. And they play their roles. And you might have to juggle a little because it might not go well the first time. But generally, you always sort of go back. Like the fast bowler who starts up front and it doesn't go so well, then you take him off after 1 where you might have thought you're going with 2. Then you've got to bowl him somewhere in the middle, and then because you've got to get that over gone, and then you've got to try and bowl kind of 1 before it's really the end, and then he finishes. But when it comes to that last over, it's not as if it's I can't bowl him today. That's what he does. He bowls at the death, so you bowl him.
Yeah.
Right? But if you've got 7 options, you might bowl the spin.
Lucknow are a team that look to me like they've got a lot of information. You know, I look at the coaching department. You've got Andy Flower, you've got Gautam Gambhir, very thoughtful. I think you call them the serious team.
Yeah.
But they overload with info. Overload with info. There'll be a lot of data. There'll be algorithm systems. There'll be matchups. There'll be all sorts happening off the field that the captain will have, and that's fine. I'd want all the information, but I just think on big nights, you've got to keep it simple. You've got to keep it simple. You've got to know as a captain out there tonight, realistically, who your bankers for 16 overs.
Yeah.
You've got to go, right, who are the 4 that are going to bowl 4? Absolutely. And you'd be thinking, you hope a 5th is going to bowl 4 as well. And then if you get that 5th one wrong, you kind of know that there's a 6th that can just cover you for 2. Or if you need to go to a 7th and an 8th, you're overcomplicating the matchups if you go to that kind of level in a big game like this tonight.
Because Lucknow, I've said it a few times, early in the tournament, they were going in with 9 bowlers and 2 wicket keepers. There was KL, Rahul and Nicholas Puran, the 2 wicket keepers, and the other 9 all bowled.
I wouldn't surprise you in this era of overloaded information that someone will say, wicket keeper, because of the size, he's better keeping at one end because he's a bit short. You know, honestly, there's that much nonsense that comes out.
Nonsense. I love it.
It's true, though, isn't it? There's an overload of information.
Well, I'll tell you one matchup that will come up, and it ain't nonsense if it works. Ravi Bishnoi against Rohit Sharma. Ravi Bishnoi against Surya as well, I think. So Ravi against Ravi Bishnoi, young leg spinner. It's so interesting because he was their third draft, wasn't he? He was their third draft here after KL Rahul and Marcus Stoinis. And they've shown faith in him. He comes here from Punjab where he was retained and just not played in so many games, right? Now suddenly you get, but that's just Punjab doing Punjab things.
Yeah.
But then he comes in here, he gets all the games and he's really repaying that faith. And if he can get, two of these three, even one of these three, Krunal's going to say, well done, buddy, have some cake.
Well, when you get that information as a captain, and Krunal's got this spinner that pretty much has got the wool over the eyes of some really great players, you start thinking, which one do I target him with?
Yeah.
Do I go at the top with the two openers, Rohit and Ishan, or do I save it for Sky in the middle? On present-day form, I'd be working my magic on Sky.
Yeah.
If I feel that he's a good matchup for...
One in the power play from Bishnoi.
One in the power play, but Sky's he's a freak. He really is a freak. If he bats, I'll say as much as if Sky bats 30 balls in this game, I think Mumbai win.
Ooh.
I think it's as simple as that, because of 30 balls on this kind of pitch, he will get a 50. He will do. And that could be enough to really kind of just take Mumbai through.
Yeah, we have to correct one mistake. I'll tell you, this has been happening so many times this tournament because teams are confused with the batting 11, with the bowling 11. They don't know what sheet.
Yeah,
You've seen
some
this at the
say,
toss.
some turn up and they go, yeah, we've got lots of changes. I just don't know them. What do you mean weren't you in the selection meeting? Yeah, I was, but I can't remember who it is. Okay.
Can't you read?
Yeah, like
Just read
you got your team sheet. Yeah, I got my team sheet.
They've got the team sheet wrong, but by the way, there's one correction because Nehal Vadera is not there, Tilak Varma is there. So they've gone with the, mildly more experienced guy. There is Nehal Vadera in the impact subs, but I doubt if he'll come in because they'll want to get a bowler in, I'm guessing.
That's interesting as well in itself, right? Because how many has Tilak Varma missed?
I think he missed 7.
Four?
6 or 7?
Is it?
He's been gone for a while.
Is it? I remember he didn't play. He was at Chennai. I remember it was.
There you go. Oh, sorry. He's played 9.
Yeah. So
he missed 5.
Yeah. So it was at Chennai where he turned up. He came and did the interview, and it was all happy days. We thought he was playing, and then the team got the toss happened, and he wasn't playing. They said, "Oh, he's got a bit of an injury. We're making a change. Vadera's playing. He's got a bit of an injury." I went, okay, and then that was him gone. And Vadera's played since.
Yeah.
And then now here we are in a big
the
game.
IPL, funny things happen. Joe Root told me a story about, I don't know, third or fourth game, and he was playing. It might have been at Chennai. I think they played at Chennai quite early. He's playing. Captain goes up, tosses up, and then he comes into the dressing room, Joe, and he said, look, what are you doing, Joe? He said, well, I'm playing. I said, no, you're not. We changed our mind. You're not playing. Sorry, Joe.
Just like we thought Pommie had.
Sorry, pal.
Imagine that.
Just like we thought Pommie had changed his mind about being on our team today. At 7:01, we were like, oops, we got a problem. Right, so Tilak Varma is there. We know that Rohit Sharma is a big believer in his talent. Had a good season last year, of course, was injured, but he's back now. In a pressure game, I guess it's a tough call, right? But in a pressure game, you want to go with the guy you have backed, even though he was away for a few games. Right?
Well, his numbers are excellent.
Tough call.
His numbers are quality.
Look, as a player, I absolutely love how he's gone. He's one of the finds. I think back to last season, I think, wow, Tilak Varma, where's this guy come from? And then just as if there's not enough that have been unearthed, Nehal Vadera turns up and he plays for a little bit. He's filling in. I think his first innings, it kind of, you kind of expect it, trying to figure it out. And once he did, some of the shots he plays, you're like, well, where's this guy been? Who is this guy? Right? And then I think I was saying to someone, hey, Mumbai have got a problem of plenty. Yeah. Because how do they fit in who's number 3 and who's number 5 and whatever? They've got too many guys. What do? We haven't even spoken about Cameron Green and everybody else. And
Stubbs and Brevis sitting outside.
They've been just sitting on the side the whole time. Too many batters. And so here we are again. Got to make a choice, right? Ooh, big game. We'll go back to the guy who it can work, but the guy who you're leaving out is in good form. The guy who's coming back's been hitting balls in the nets. It's not the same.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. What do you do? Who makes space for Tilak to come in? It's got to be the youngster because, well,
Yeah.
Ishan, Rohit, Surya, Cameron, Tim, not dropping any of those. So yeah,
That's a serious order.
It's a very serious batting order. What will they do today, though, at Chepauk? I'm going to let Pommie and Michael think for just a second what their score guesses will be. Till then, I'm going to give you some food for thought. Food. But for thought. Here it is, the Joy Factor question. What have we got today? In a test match against India, two batters who batted at number 10 and 11 in the first innings opened the batting in the second innings. Name both. I know this. I know this test match. I'm not telling you. I know it. I'm so excited. I finally know something. Do you know something? I don't know the names of the people, but I know this test match and I know this story.
Oh,
I do, yeah. It's way back.
okay.
I'm guessing it's about 45 years ago. Around that.
Okay, you're giving everybody a clue. That's
Yeah. And it's got something to do with, I think, a wet pitch. There you go. That's all I'll tell you. Hashtag Cricbuzz Live. Send in your answers. Please, very quickly. Score guesses. Gents,
162.
162.
nice number. 157. I'll go.
157. These are low. I'm going with 173.
Okay.
173. That's my number.
Good shot. No, I think it's tough one because
Excellent. I'm just telling you that one of you at this point in time gets a chance to win an extra serving of biryani if you can tell me who's bowling the first over for Lucknow.
Vishnu.
That's yours. Bishnoi, yours?
It's a part-time spinner.
It's a part-time lover.
Part-time spinner.
To name.
I don't know which one.
Gautam.
Gautam could be. Yeah, it will be. Off spin.
Gautam. So you're saying Gautam, you're saying Bishnoi.
off-spin, yeah.
Anybody else? Any guesses? Anybody? Anybody?
Yeah.
Anybody?
Mohsin.
Winner, chicken dinner. None of them. It's Krunal Pandya, the captain.
The skipper.
Is bowling the first over. There
To
you go.
Rohit. Hopefully.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right, that's it. No biryani for you. All right, we got to go now. We're going to see you at the end of the 10th over with Cricbuzz Combox. You now know what we are having for dinner. Tell us what you're having for dinner. Tell us. Send it over. Send some food for us. We're your friends. Big thank you to Pommie Mbangwa and Michael Vaughan. I'm Gaurav Kapur. You were watching Cricbuzz Live. We are going to tie Pommie to the chair now so he cannot escape to the racecourse. Take care, everybody. Goodbye.
Jaipur via Kota.
कृपया ध्यान आपको अहमदाबाद
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत
Lucknow Junction.
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವರೈ
Express
পরবর্তী স্টেশন নেতাজি ভবন।
कृपया ध्यान दो